Well, I really don't have much to say, which I'm sure y'all expected. But we we certainly didn't match up very well in Starkville, and we found a team there that probably should be undefeated. They lost to Oklahoma State and Auburn. I'm pretty sure the Auburn game was one they had a very good chance to win on the road. So they come in there not only stinging a little bit from those losses, but also from us playing them as close as we did and having a chance to beat them over here last year. I'm sure they had plenty of motivation to prepare, and they did. And I think the biggest key was inability to slow Prescott and their offense down, and for whatever the reason, if you really watched closely, you saw some big fine SEC linemen that could run as fast as some of our backs, and it was amazing to me the personnel that they had out there. And Dan Mully's done a great job recruiting to that program, and I'd say they're probably going to win some more games. But credit where credit's due. They executed, and we couldn't get the ball from them, and we didn't execute very well ourselves, and uh, you know, embarrassing loss. Yes, I've been embarrassed before. It's not the worst I've ever been beaten, but it's close. And I say I'm talking about we, us, team that we have coached, but that doesn't change my mind about these guys and about where we are and what we need to do. Uh, Certainly the best way to cure the ills that we have right now is to win a game. And we don't have an easy task before us with Duke. They score 55 on Pitt and then lose. And and I watch their defensive tape, and I don't see a team that just gave up 58 or whatever it was they gave up to lose. But they play in a tough conference. They play in the ACC, and they're well coached. David Cutcliffe's a longtime friend, and has been a very, very positive football coach everywhere he's been. Certainly a great offensive coordinator at Tennessee and Ole Miss, and he and I were in Birmingham at the same time, growing up as head coaches in high school, and so I know he'll have his team ready and for a home game, and we'll be hard pressed to prepare well enough to execute our offense and defense. They're a little bit unique on offense, but everybody's doing the same thing. A lot of cross motion, a lot of fake and read, quarterback read, power, zone, and they have capabilities of moving the football well and scoring points. So we've got to make sure that we at least match that and have a chance to win a game. Question.
What do you see differently in Corey's game over the last two games versus the first two games?
Well, I've told you guys this before now. The old quarterback, when he does good, y'all hug and kiss, and you want to talk and hug and brag on him. But when things don't go well for his football team, then it's his fault. And I stand by Corey, and I stand by Dion and their coaches. The biggest thing is protection, I think, and there's probably a lot of other little nuances that come into the thing. But right now we're struggling a little bit offensively, and he has to live with the responsibility of being the quarterback, and he's made a couple of ill-fated throws, and I wish I had back for him, and I'm sure he wishes he had back, but we're just gonna keep coaching him and seeing how he does, and I predict him coming back and having a good game. That's what I would predict of him. He's had a bunch of good games over the years, and again, more praise when you win, and a lot more criticism when you lose. No matter how effective you were on the game.
Coach, you said before the linemen make all the difference. Why they were big boys.
Well, they're big on offense, really big, but on the other side of the ball, they're big. They were big and they were moving, and we're not very big, and it was hard to hang on to them, And so it's basically it's 1, 2, 3 throw, and get it out of your hands, and sometimes that causes a little bit of an errant throw when you have to throw it maybe a little earlier than you want to. Running the football, we made a few runs, but we got to run it a lot better. We got to continue to run. The two running backs and the other kids, Duran and of course Chun and Burks. I thought those two or three guys really did a good job. They didn't turn the ball over, and not always perfect, but made some runs. I think the safety made a tackle on Burks one time, and the next 3 times he made him miss on runs that got us down the field a little bit. So we got to, Jordan didn't look fast enough on one of the. We had him wide open in the flat, and he didn't look quite quick enough. The ball hit him right in the ear. So, who we gonna blame for that? We gonna blame a freshman running back probably, or we can blame Corey for hitting him in the ear instead of the hands. But there's so many things that come into play. But matching up front is always important, either side of the ball, and having. We not only the starting matchups, but the depth of matchups, and it's like I tell y'all all the time. You go to Starkville, you go to Tuscaloosa, you go to Baton Rouge, you go to Knoxville, you go to Athens, you're gonna find normally an SEC football team, and we found one in Starkville, and they're a very good team, and they took us to the woodshed, and it's something we gotta be certainly. Man enough to admit and move on, or we dwell in the past, we'll have problems.
You're playing a Duke team this week, ACC team, another group of big guys.
Mm-hmm.
Is the same game plan, 1, 2, 3 throw, like you just said?
Well, I'm hoping that we can. And of course, we're carrying some young guys with us on the front, trying to get them some experience. We got them a little experience the other night. We're trying to grow some guys up quick, which normally is tough duty. And but no, I feel like we can protect these guys against these guys. They're not quite as massive as some of those guys we faced the other day, but they're a good football team. But I tell you what about them. I watched them last week when some of the GAs were breaking down the early breakdown on their defense, and I'll tell you one thing, you won't ever catch them out of position, and they'll be playing hard, and they're smart. They don't give up too much very easily, but you can move the football if you're expeditious and you take advantage of your opportunities. You can move the football and score points on them. It's been proven. Pitt did.
Well, you mentioned that earlier. I mean, they scored 55 points. They also allowed 58 points.
Right.
That showed that if the offense is kicking, that you guys could do something.
I think we can score some points on them. I don't know. I hadn't studied the Pitt defense against Duke offense yet, but I've seen enough to know that I saw a little bit of Pitt offense, and they throw it around pretty good also. So I think we can move the ball. I'm certainly hopeful. We're going to challenge our people up front and then our backs to protect our quarterback, and we're going to challenge our receivers to get open and make plays for him. And we had 2 or 3 little things the other night. I just mentioned Jordan, and he's a freshman, so he's out there trying to do his best, and sometimes he might make a mistake, but you know, we we got to put the best 11 out there every snap that we can, and see how it comes out. I know, you know, it's games. It's a crazy game. You know, I toured the Southeast with Troy this year, and if you ask our people, they'd already got this game marked up, and you know, but that's not certainly the way it is. You know, only way we'll have a chance to win is play as good as we can play, not turn it over, not bust assignments or miss tackles. We're gonna have to play good, and that's the way it ought to be. You know, you got to play good. You got to get better. If you don't, you're gonna lose again. And then we got South Alabama rolling in here, who's on a streak. So get you some of that, as a fellow friend of mine used to say.
As head coach, what kind of message do you send to these guys? You know, coming off a loss like that, but you're still a very talented team with a lot of damage that can be done.
Well, a lot of damage, sir.
So, like the team can still play.
Oh yeah, there's a lot left. For that matter, other than being undefeated, you know, all our goals are still out there. You know, win the conference, go to a bowl, winning season, all the things that people talk about. You still got it. We still have a chance to accomplish all those things, but it's not going to be something that'll be handed to us, and it dang sure won't be handed to us this week.
Other questions for Corey? All right, Corey, feelings about Saturday's game?
I think I can just bring it into one word, and that's embarrassed. You know, for Coach Blakeney, you know, him taking us to a place like that and then us showing up and playing like that way. He's just embarrassed for him, and you know, for ourselves. It's been a while since I had that feeling. You know, South Carolina in 2010, when we got beat the way we did there. But you know, the thing that really came to me to talk to the guys about yesterday at practice was that, and how we came back and worked hard and ended up sharing the conference championship that year and going to a bowl game. You know, we had a good day at practice yesterday, I felt like. So hopefully, you know, the guys will continue to work, and maybe it was a wake-up call for us.
What might have caused that to happen on Saturday? Do you have any idea?
You know, there's a little thing they called third down, and we weren't very good at it on offense. We were coming up a yard short here and there, and then it was out of hand by the time that we even knew of anything to call. I mean, I think they scored 35 in the second quarter on us pretty quick. So everybody was at a loss of what was going on and stuff like that. So we couldn't convert on third down is mainly why things happened the way they did.
Do you think you guys came in with some nerves, or do you think because it was kind of close the year before that you thought you had more of a chance than you might have had? Or
honestly, I think that they just came in ready to play. I mean, SEC football, from my defensive stand-wise, you know, I think that they were prepared well for us. They didn't give us anywhere to run, very tight windows to throw in, and it was just an overall rough game for our offense out there. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You know, we got beat like that, man. It's just unacceptable, and we can't play like that on offense, or it'll happen more often.
you guys are playing a team that just gave up 58 points, so maybe this week the offense won't have the same problems it had last week.
Hopefully, you know, we're going to work this week to get to that point. That's all we can have in our mind is work and getting back on the practice field and trying to get better. You know, and hopefully we'll never play like that again. I mean, there's been very few times that we've been held to 7 points. So we just got to work in practice, and hopefully we'll continue to get better.
You compare this to the South Carolina loss. What were we all going to do then to get back to fighting for them?
Well, the good thing about it is, like I said, they're not in our conference. So we don't have to worry about that from that standpoint of where we want to get to the conference championship and hopefully back to a bowl game. That's all we have on our mind. And so a loss like that, you know, it's tough. It's tough to swallow as an athlete, as a competitor, because, you know, it's the worst that you could probably ever feel of playing the sport. taking a loss like that. But we're just gonna have to work to get better in practice, man, and go out there and compete and convert on third down.
After that game, Coach talked about the only way to get over it is to win, and just talk about this stretch of road games. How does this really shape this team right now?
Going on the road in college football is it's not an easy thing to do. Not sometimes, but we have to go out there and play sound football all the time. I mean, 1 and 2 mistakes a game isn't cutting it. So we got to cut those down to 0, I guess, and go out there and convert. We have to do what we do in practice. That's all it boils down to. We can't do anything extra or special because what we've been doing works. It's shown over the past it works. We've been stopped, I think, one time. I mean, Saturday is the first time I've ever felt like we've actually been shut down from an offensive standpoint. And we're just going to have to continue to keep doing the things that we do because it does work, and we know that. So, I mean, I don't even know anything else to say about that.